So this is part of the Jewish law. Our motto is the Kohanim. We should be modest, but there should be separate clothing for men and women. And also we should cover our heads. We cover our heads because the Kohanim, which are the people of Israel, which are the closest to God, would wear their head covering when they would minister in the temple. So for that reason, we also have taken on all males, all men, to wear a head covering. But I want to focus now on men's Litvish clothing, which is the clothing of men who are Orthodox men. All right, so let's start with head coverings. Now, an Orthodox man typically will wear, starting with the fabric kippah. This is a fabric kippah, and they're usually made of 2 layers. There's a special extra stringency of covering your head twice by wearing a double-pieced kippah or yarmulke, head covering. Kippah is Hebrew, which means dome. Yarmulke is fear of the king. It's Yiddish. Yiddish is a blend of German and Hebrew together. Kind of Hebrew slang, if you were. It allows me to wear one covering that counts as a double covering. Now, this is a 4-piece fabric. This is my favorite type. We have another 4-piece fabric here. These are pretty large. These are 8. You can see it covers most of my head, and you can see it from any direction. Now, you can see here, this is a knitted kippah. This kippah is more what Chasidim would wear. You don't really see Litvish people wearing this kippah, but I want to show it because it's somewhat similar to what modern Orthodox, or rather religious Zionist Jews would wear. They'd wear a version of this without the tassel and in more colors, many more colorful kippahs. We'll try to put some pictures on the screen. But you can see this one is also large and covers most of my head. Now, another option is the velvet kippah. This is a black velvet kippah. You can see this one is a lot smaller than the others. Now, normally an Orthodox person would wear, most people would wear a good size one that covers a good deal of their head. But it's a personal choice. Now we're going to move on to speak about the modern Orthodox. Modern Orthodox tend to wear either a crocheted kippah, somewhat like what I showed you, but multicolored and much smaller, or they wear a suede kippah, a 4-parted suede kippah made out of suede. Those are kippahs that show that they're modern Orthodox or they're religious Zionists. Now, these are Jews who bring in more modern concepts to their Judaism. All Jews are impacted by modern concepts, but modern Orthodox Jews and religious Zionist Jews in particular, modern Orthodox try to bring in modern culture into their Judaism, and religious Zionists try to bring in the state of Israel, and the modern state of Israel is part of their Judaism. Both these Jews are still Orthodox, but they try to bring and deliberately blend in other elements, where your Haredi Jews try to maintain as much as possible the continuation from the past. Okay, so let's look at a couple things. So we want to go back through really quick the idea of the size. So we have the material, we have fabric, we have velvet, we have knitted, we have suede, and one I didn't mention is satin. You might have seen thin satin kippot. These are more an older style that was seen in conservative shuls. It was oftentimes given for people who did not normally wear a kippah and did not bring one with them. They would supply these satin kippahs. They're very cheap, they're very thin. Usually they're not typically worn by people who wear kippot every day, but I have seen some people wear these types. Now, there's 2 things to talk about again, the material and the size. Now, with the size, usually a smaller kippah shows a person who's less devout. Not always. They're intentionally showing that they're more modern. They want to have a nice hairstyle, and a little kippah helps them have a nice hairstyle. The smaller kippah is less noticeable, it's more subtle, so that's kind of part of them showing where they lie on the religious spectrum. How serious are they about their Judaism? These outward signs are not necessarily indicative of the person. It really depends, but they're just something you can look to kind of see where a person's holding. Please like and subscribe and click on one of the videos above for more.